Hello students, standard 6th, the revision in chemistry chapter number 4, sorting materials into groups. In the beginning we discussed that some objects around us, they are made from a single material or some made from 2-3 materials together. Some materials are made from wooden or plastic or metals, etc. So we can classify into the groups according to their containing material. Also we saw that the classification means sorting out can be done with some similarities and the differences. And we saw that the objects have special characteristics or some the capacity or the other common uses on the basis of their different type of appearance and so on. We can sort out the materials. Some are edible, some are not edible, made from plastics, and we use special type of material for the purpose. For example, we saw that we cannot make a container to keep the liquid from the clothing material. We use either plastic or metal. Why? Because clothing material cannot hold the liquid. It is not heavy enough. Also, the clothing material has tiny pores from which the liquid can go out. So, the material that we choose must be depending on the use of that object. So now, we also saw that some materials are sorting out in the appearance. Like the metals have luster, while the non-metals do not have. Some of the materials are hard, some of the materials are smooth or soft materials. So, on the basis of their properties and their uses, we sorting out the materials. Now, today we are going to revise about the solubility. Means the materials are soluble or insoluble in water. So what is meant by soluble or insoluble substances? We can understand that when we add some substances, objects in water and stir it, after stirring it for some time, if that object is disappearing, means you won't be able to see it, then we can say that it is soluble in water. And after stirring it for a long time, you can still see them, they are not getting disappeared, then we can say that these materials are insoluble, means they are not getting dissolved in the water. So we can give the examples also, but yes, the sugar, if you put some sugar in the water, stir it for a while, then within few seconds you won't be able to see the sugar in the water. Similarly, the salt also. So the salt, sugar, etc., are the soluble in water. But if you put some stones, a coin, a metal key, or sand in water, stir it. After stirring for a long time also, they will not disappear, they will be same. It means that they are insoluble in water. So now, here the first question is finished. The second question says that how can you show that some solids like sugar, salt are soluble in water, whereas solids like chalk powder, sand are not soluble in water. For that, we have to take some beakers. For this activity, we have to take some beakers, glass beakers, and fill water in them. We have to take different type of materials. We have to collect some sugar, salt, chalk powder, and the sand, or you can take any other solid objects also. Now, in the first beaker, there is water. Put the substance in it and stir it for a while. Suppose we take sugar first, then you will see that sugar is dissolving. Why? Because it is soluble in water. Put salt in the second beaker. Put chalk powder in the third beaker. Put sand in the fourth beaker, and so on. And stir all of them with equal time. Then check, let it get settled. Now after some time, if you will see that in some of the beakers, the material that we added is disappeared. We cannot see the sugar, we cannot see the salt in the beaker. But in other beakers, in which we put chalk powder, you will see that chalk powder will settle down at the bottom, and the sand also will settle down at the bottom. It shows that the sugar, salt, etc. solids are dissolving, means soluble in water, while the others like sand or the chalk powder, etc. are not getting dissolved, means they are not soluble in water. Now, why is water called a universal solvent? In chemical, means in the chemical industries, most of the chemicals are getting dissolved, means they are soluble in water, because water can dissolve so many objects. You know that the sea water is salty. Why? Because when water is passing from the soil in the river, through the river, then it is getting dissolving all the salts, and therefore all the water when come together in the sea, then it is salty, because so many salts are dissolved. So, because water is dissolving so many substances, it is known as a universal solvent, because most of the chemicals are getting dissolved in water. Now we talked about the solid objects that are soluble in water or insoluble in water. Do the liquids also get dissolved in water? How can we say that? For that we have to do the activity, that we have to take some different liquids like vinegar, lemon juice, mustard oil, coconut oil, kerosene, etc. and check whether they are getting mixed. If they are getting mixed with each other, don't making layer, then they are dissolving, means they are having mixing in the water. So here what we have to do, we have to take water in the beaker in four or five different beakers. In one of them, add some vinegar. Second one, add some lemon juice. In third one, mustard oil. In fourth, coconut oil. And in fifth one, mix some kerosene. And then with a glass rod or with the spoon, you can stir for a while. And after stirring, let them get steady. Then check what happens in each of the beaker. You will see that vinegar and lemon juice mixes very well in water. It means that after they settle down, then what happens? You don't see the layers of water or vinegar or lemon juice and water. When we make the lemon juice, lemon sarbat, you won't be able to see the lemon juice and water separate. They mixes well. It means that they are soluble in water. But when you mix water with mustard oil and mix it properly, then when you keep it aside, then there will be a layer, because generally water is heavier, oil is lighter. So you will see a layer of oil on the top, and at the bottom there will be water. Similarly, it will be happen same for the coconut oil also and kerosene also, because they do not mix with water. And therefore, when they are keep aside and when they get steady, there will be a layer you can see properly. On the top there will be the coconut oil or the kerosene or the mustard oil, and down one there will be layer of the water. So that is the thing that we learn, that some liquid also getting dissolved in water. Do the gas also dissolving in the water? Obviously. Some of the gas also dissolves in the water, and some of the gas does not dissolve. For example, you open the bottle of soda water. What happens? You see the bubbles coming out. It means that when they make soda water, the carbon dioxide gas is dissolved in the water and then it is kept. When you open the cap, then the dissolved carbon dioxide forces out, and therefore you see the bubbles coming out. So carbon dioxide gas and oxygen gas also, at some extent, not much, but in some amount, the oxygen and carbon dioxide, that two gases are soluble in water. But the nitrogen, hydrogen, these two gases are such that they do not dissolve in water. So now the oxygen can dissolve in water. What is the benefit of that for aquatic animals and aquatic plants? Not only oxygen, but you can say the carbon dioxide also. Oxygen or carbon dioxide, both. We know that all living organisms need oxygen for survival. Now, the animals or the plants which are on the land, we know that in the air there is 21% oxygen, 0.03% carbon dioxide is also there. So the animals which are staying on the soil, on the land, they breathe oxygen from the air. So they can survive like that. But what about the aquatic plants and aquatic animals? Mean those animals which always stay in the water. They cannot survive in air. How do they breathe? Because there is no air in the water. So they can take the dissolved oxygen. Because in their body there are some structures like gills on the body. If you see the fish, there are gills on the body. So now what happens? The fish, if you see the fish in the water, they are opening and closing the mouth. This time they take the water in the mouth and passes that water very speedily from that gills. So water come out and dissolved oxygen is diffused in their body. So the dissolubility of oxygen is benefit for the survival of that aquatic animals. Similarly, the plants which are on the land, on the soil, they get carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. But the aquatic plants which are submerged in the water, they can take the carbon dioxide which is dissolved in the water, and they can do the photosynthesis, because for the process of photosynthesis carbon dioxide gas is very, very important. So the solubility of oxygen and carbon dioxide is beneficial for the survival of the aquatic animals and the aquatic plants. So we discussed all the questions here in the assignment, and you will write down the answers on your own. So we are going to finish the session here. Thank you very much.